Hey everybody, for decades, Pioneer Car Electronics has been supporting automotive events and events like Joe's Minibike Reunion. No matter what you drive, Pioneer's got the gear to upgrade your ride so that it sounds better and it connects you with the latest in technology like Android Auto, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, and the popular Alexa. Remember, don't break up with your car, upgrade it with Pioneer. For more information, check them out at pioneerelectronics.com.
This is the Candyman from Studs Racing. We've got tires, and tires. We've got big ones, small ones, street ones, off-road ones. Oh my God. Why do we have so many tires? Tires. We have so many enough tires. Tires. Come on and get your tires.
Oh my God, we got so many tires.
Tires. Come see us. Dearborn Heights, Michigan, studsracing.com.
Hey everybody, I'd like to give a special Joe's Minibike Reunion welcome to our friends at Yoshimura. Yoshimura can be reached at yoshimura-rd.com. They're going to be live at Joe's Minibike Reunion giving away some cool systems. They also have a lot of promotional opportunities that you could take advantage of, including their expertise about product design and R&D. Yoshimura-rd.com. Check them out. Hey, with all the high voltage excitement with the electric vehicles, it's made its way down into the power sports and mini bike world. Our next guest took a build-up challenge with his buddies and turned it into one of the hottest businesses in this e-commerce marketplace. He's Sam Flores. He's our next guest from Dingo Moto USA on the next Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. Stay tuned. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. This is season 10. Season 10. Christ. Episode 7. No, it's the other way around, isn't it? Something like that. We're presented by our friends at Pioneer Car Electronics. We've got a great show in store for you. We've got our man Sam Flores from Dingo USA. Check these guys out now. They are probably, what I like about them is not only are they one of the more exciting companies that have entered this new e-commerce, this electric car craze. Everybody's interested in it, but those guys focused in on mini bikes. They kept the vintage look, but they updated it with modern technology and batteries. So we're going to find out more and dig in deep to find out what's happening with Sam and the guys behind Dingo Moto USA in a minute. Before we get to Sam, I want to take a second and just give you guys a little bit of an update. I don't know where you are, but it's hot as hell where I am. You can probably see. So if you see some sweat on my face, I'm excited, but it's hot. We hear that it's hot everywhere. So stay cool. If you're listening to the podcast, I don't know, hopefully you have a little something cool to drink. I haven't seen you guys or talked to you in a little while. I'm hoping that everybody's doing good. we've had some fun lately, like we always do, because it's always fun first, right? Before I get into some of those shenanigans, I want to thank our friends over at Pioneer Car Electronics for all the support. We've also been pretty lucky to recently have had a slew of folks that have jumped back on as sponsors for the upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion, which is October the 8th here in beautiful La Crescenta at CV Park. So I want to give a little bit of a shout out, if I could, to our friends at Yoshimura. I had an opportunity to meet Big E at Yoshimura through my friends at Steady Garage. Steady Garage, as you know, is the one-stop shop for anything mini moto. We recently had a nice podcast with Ray as well as Francis from Steady Garage. If you haven't seen that, you can check that out on YouTube. But they introduced me to Big E, and we immediately clicked. He wanted to be a part of the event, and he stepped up big time. Not only is he supporting us with some product giveaway, but he supported us financially. They're going to be on site. I only use Yoshimura for my mini motos. I only use Mofabco exhaust for my mini bikes most of the time. Yoshimura has a complete line of mini moto exhaust applications, but they also have all the other cool things. I've got a cool little tidy tail, so you get rid of all those lollipops and all that plastic on the back of your rear bike, or the back of your Grom, where, you know, it's all plastic, it's all loud. They clean it up for you nicely. I've got some LED turn signals. They've got a complete line of products that you're probably going to want to check out. It's yoshimura-rd.com. They will be live on site. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to take away some Yoshimura product. So thanks to Yoshimura. I also want to give a shout out to our old buddies at Go-Kart USA. Go-Kart USA is promoting their American Racer. And lucky enough, I've had a chance to get my hands on one years ago. And I did my best to work it into Jake Mo's busy schedule over at Mofabco. Jake's had the bike for a couple of years. That bike hopefully will be premiered at Joe's Minibike Reunion. So you have a chance to not only see the bikes that are built by our friends at Go-Kart USA, they'll be on site displaying, but you also have a chance to see what happens when we customize one, and when we customize one the Jake Mo way. I'm really excited about it. I'm lucky enough that Jake helps with these bikes. We don't try to push them too much, but we're going to make a little bit of an effort to get that here. So thank you to our friends at Go-Kart USA. We also want to thank our friends at Mother's Polish, as well as our friends at Coker Tire. In fact, we've got to get some white wall 10-inch for some of these e-bikes from our friends over at Dingo Moto USA. We also have an opportunity to thank our friends over at Coker Tire. Coker Tire, they'll be not on site, I don't think. They're in Tennessee. They've got a local outlet in Paramount if you want to check them out. We're hoping we can get the local dealer to come out. So that's a little bit of housekeeping, a little bit thanks to our sponsors. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over, we had Ozzy on the podcast recently, and we had some issues that popped up, and Ozzy really helped me out. He knows what I'm talking about. So Ozzy, thanks for all the help there. Bing also wants to give you a thank for your help too. A little bit behind the scenes there. We have bad news. Our friends over at 605 Minibike Gang, as well as our friends at the Minibike Mafia. Unfortunately, we're at the services recently for their buddy Nathan, who they lost unexpectedly. So rest in peace, Nathan, and our condolences out to those guys. Give him a shout out. Finally, I want to give thanks to my man E. E and I have been continuing to improve the podcast. And if you were listening in on our Facebook Live back a couple weeks ago, we gave you a behind-the-scenes view of what goes on when we set up the podcast. And we did that. And I was just giving you guys a little bit of a heads up that if you haven't had the chance, go to our YouTube channel. It's JMBR Podcast. Like it, subscribe it, ring the bells, do whatever the hell you're supposed to do. Where, for some reason, we haven't been able to quite take the momentum and the number of viewers that we used to receive when we did Facebook Live. So there's a little bit of a method to the madness. It has to do with comments and views and likes and subscribes and all that stuff. So not really my deal, but the powers to be say it's standard operating procedure. Go to it, do whatever you need to do. We try to incentivize you guys for doing it as well. We give away some cool prizes, literally prizes. We gave away a mini bike recently. We gave out some cool products from Steady Garage, as well as some cool swag. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet, go to joesminibikereunion.com and register for the upcoming event. We have a slew of folks that have already done that. Max is back. Everybody knows Richard McGill. He's a member of Joe's Minibike Reunion Hall of Fame. He'll be there on the corner where he always is, selling all those hard-to-find parts. I believe we'll have, who knows, maybe we'll even have our friends from Steady Garage on site. Maybe our friends at Go Kart USA can be visited by our friends at Go Power Sports. We know Studs Racing is going to be there. Everybody and anybody who's in this industry will be there, and I hope that you will too. All right, enough of that stuff, right? So once again, thanks for viewing. We're here today with Sam Flores, and Sam, as well as several others, have been a part of this creation of these new electric mini bikes. It's Dingo Moto USA. I first came across them because they were on display at the Electrify Expo that was in Long Beach not too long ago. Electrify Expo also was in Seattle, I believe, this past week. Well, while that was going on, I was unable to attend. My buddy Mikey Robledo went there, and he ran across Dingo, and he took some photos, and I think he did a little bit of horse trading. You know, he told him a little bit about me, and Mikey found out a little bit about them, and next thing you know, I was going back and forth. You know, when you're on Instagram, you don't know who the hell you're talking to. And I really don't start asking names either until I, get to a point where you feel you're going to do something. So I was going back and forth really with someone I didn't know. It turns out to be Joel from Dingo. Thank you for all the help. And Joel is part of a group that I guess the kingpin is our guest, Sam Flores. With that, welcome to the podcast, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have to go through some of the business stuff beforehand. So thanks for your patience, as well as coming up here. Where did you come in from?
Riverside, California.
So that had to be a major pain in the ass to
Yeah, we came here a little early, grabbed some lunch just to ditch all the traffic.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
that was smart.
Yeah.
Good.
We rode the bikes a little bit around the block here. So.
Yeah, when I rolled up, I saw these guys already doing hot laps. We're in a hilly area, and I think that's an understatement. When I first tried to find this spot, man, I'm still lost. You probably know what I'm talking about, right? You come up through all these twisty turns, and it's a different place, man. Houses are on stilts, and it's a beautiful view, and I'm sure that it's probably really cool. But nevertheless, you got here, and it was good to meet you for the first time. I see some of your other folks are with us. Who makes up Dingo Moto USA? Who are your folks that are a part of this?
So it's you met Joel. He's the photographer, video creator, media creator, the merch creator. So everybody wears a lot of hats in the company right now since we're just starting.
He's also your booking agent.
He's a booking agent as well. Yeah, apparently.
So I met Van. Yeah. You got Van over there.
Yeah. So it's Val. Yeah. He's
Val.
a
When
welder.
did he change his name?
Yeah, it's Val. Yeah. Valentin.
Got it.
Yeah.
Val.
Yeah, he's my right hand man. He's whenever I need help, he's the one that comes through and just helps me out. He didn't go to work today. Just don't tell where he works. So he.
Well, if he gets fired, you could hire him, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully
so
this
he's
thing will
already
take
hired.
off. There you go. Who else is a part of the team?
And then Jocelyn, she does engineering.
Okay.
And also, like I said, everybody in my crew, they went over and above and over for the company, for the vision that I told them about. That was just in my head a couple of months ago.
So let's start off from, I think the exciting part of this is how all this started. Now, as I understand it, and you can help me, you guys were planning a camping trip.
Yeah, the boys camping trip.
Okay,
yeah.
So a boys camping trip, and you had amongst yourselves, you had a build-off challenge that you asked these folks to create a mode of transportation that would help you when you guys are out there camping.
Correct.
So you had a period of time before this camping trip was going to happen, and you show up, and you're the only one that shows up. And you show up with an electric bike?
Yep.
Okay, so embellish on that. Give us the backstory.
So yeah, we planned to go to Mammoth Mountain. I've never been, but a buddy of ours gave us a bunch of frames, and I already had a frame that I saved from a scrapper. He had it in his truck. He was gonna scrap it, so I asked him, "How much do you want for that?" He was like, "Oh, give me $5." All right, cool. Gave him $5, but I had it in my backyard, just like any other frame. Sometimes.
And it was a no-name, kind of an old vintage frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you ever find out what kind of frame it was?
I didn't know what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the rake is kind of funky on it. You guys will see some pictures here pretty soon. But
yeah.
Yeah. So we ended up. I think it was 6 months before, and the day came to go on this boys trip, and nobody built a mini bike, or nobody built their bike, and they were opposed to electric. And I was like, everything is going electric. But the thing is that the batteries, they're pretty pricey. And at the time, I didn't have money for batteries. So I used my Milwaukee batteries in series to create the 72 volts.
Well, they've done that with some smaller bikes. You see the little the drill
Yeah.
that powers this small little sprocket.
Yeah.
That, you know, I don't
Even
know.
the power wheel carts.
So you used the low buck deal. You found an old frame.
Yep.
You found your old with the Milwaukee Tool batteries.
Yeah.
What size batteries were those?
It's 12 HA, so the bigger boys, the
Okay.
expensive, the expensive ones.
So
yeah.
how many did you need to?
4.
Okay.
4 total. So that was $1,000 in batteries. So at the end, I was like, man, I should just bought a battery.
So it's not just as easy though as getting the frame and then getting the batteries. Let's talk about, for all the tech folks out there and the guys that are really builders, give them a little bit of an idea of what else you had to do. Obviously, you've got a frame. You've got to find a fork. You went aftermarket with the forks. You said Go Power Sports? Or?
Yeah, so for the actual builds, for the ones that I'm actually building for the public,
No.
it's Go Power Sports.
So you started off with these old bent forks?
Yeah, so I don't know if that was original on the frame, but yeah, the brakes kind of funk on it.
Yeah.
Val actually wrecked that one, so.
So this looks like an old Isuzu, actually. Looks like if you go to Isuzu Engineering, they make their own bikes. They're nondescript frames, but they're out there. This looks like it just by the sheer size of it. You know, you almost have to go with a bigger frame to put these batteries in there. So, getting the frame, and obviously you didn't spend too much time worrying about the wheels, right?
No,
so you went ahead. We'll talk about the color blue a little bit later on. So now we'll talk about the wiring. That's you. That's your expertise. You know, that's what you do.
Yes, honestly, like I didn't know wiring. I just kind of they give you how to wire, but
Who's we? Did you the internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just I researched online, went on blogs, and just figured it out. But they're actually pretty straightforward. These kids, they're from Amazon. Amazon kids, they sell them on Amazon.
Walk me
eBay.
through. Take me from the battery up through the whole wiring system.
Okay. Yeah. So you got the 4 Milwaukee batteries in series to create the 72 volts.
Okay.
Then you got the batteries actually go to a controller.
Got it.
On
Up
that
here.
little box up there. Yeah. So that's the computer that tells the motor what to do.
All right.
And then on the controller, you have your throttle, and that's what it has what's called the throttle that tells the motor how much volts.
Is it a squeeze throttle or a turn?
Twist throttle.
You had a twist throttle.
Later on, I learned to put up the thumb throttle because people, once they jump on it, they don't know the power that it has. So they go for it, and the torque on these things, it's insane.
Okay, so how long did it take you to not only devise the system, Sam, but also to troubleshoot it? I mean, you said you had how many months leading up to it? 6 months?
It was 6 months, but the whole 6 months. I think I was even up the night before we left. And
did you start early? Did you start like within the time that you called on it, or did you take a month or two to figure out what you were going to do?
I actually started right away. I started with the paint, like what color scheme do I want? It's a vintage frame, so I went with the teal and the white because I wanted to keep it vintage looking, but with a little twist.
There's never been a white and teal vintage mini bike in the history of mini bikes, just to let you know.
Oh, no way.
No.
Oh, wow.
So you're the first.
Yeah,
you did
there you
great. No, I get it. So you got a little headlight on there. Any other accessories? I know did you have a disc brake on this? What did you do for brakes?
Well, the first bike that took this one.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't figure out how to put a disc brake on it. That one doesn't have a brake. It's just a chain to the.
So you had foot brake? You were like the Flintstones?
Yeah, my Vans. I went through 2 shoes with that thing. Yeah.
All right, so you show up with this now. By that time, you know that the other folks don't have any game, right?
I was the only one with the bike, and another thing that was a surprise is when I received the package. I think this one was an eBay kit. I got the motor, and I was used to the big motor. Those 2-3 horsepower motors are bigger, so I got this little motor. They're small, and I was like, "What the heck is this? $300?" I think I got ripped off. You know, like what the heck is this? So
just based on the size or lack of, right?
Yeah, but I followed this guy at Richie Builds. He works on Teslas, and he built a little mountain bike, a Razor little dirt bike, I think it is.
What's his name?
Richie Builds. He's on YouTube. Yeah, he messes around with Teslas. I think he takes 2 Teslas, puts them together, and gets them running.
So he's really into this, huh?
He's into the electric steam.
So he helped you out a little bit?
I just saw his videos, and I saw that he built that bike, and he put a link to the kit. And I guess he was saying, "Oh, this kit is the best kit. It goes this fast." And I was like, "Sweet, I want to go that fast." So that's the kit that I ordered. But when I received it, I was like, "Man, this is a ripoff. I'm gonna send this thing back."
So it wasn't as bad as you thought, though, right?
No, as soon as I put it together, because this thing has 3 speeds, so 3 options. So you could go. The first one's only picks you up to 20 miles per hour. It's a little bit more mellow.
Sure.
The second one, 35. The last one, you go 50 plus.
So I've got to ask you, with that said, because they go pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you seem to be pretty smart.
Yeah.
How could you not understand how to connect a disc brake to a sprocket on the rear wheel? What was it? Just that you were
Time.
rushing?
Yeah, it was time, mainly time.
Okay.
And I come from a fabrication background.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to work on COEs. I told you I work with Max Grundy.
Sure, buddy Max.
Yeah.
How you doing, Max?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm from a what is it? Vintage cars.
Yeah,
Fab,
sure.
Welder. Yeah. So.
And you
this
didn't think
whole
brakes were
electric thing-
necessary in this case. You just wanted to go fast, right?
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right.
Like anybody else, brakes they're the last thing they worry about. They just want to go fast.
You know,
right?
you're right, because don't forget, a lot of these bikes had scrub brakes.
That's what
you
this had.
Yeah.
And I had to cut it off because it wouldn't fit.
See,
Yeah.
so that could have been an option. What is this like an open foot peg?
Yeah, that's the peg.
Okay, so
yeah, that's the peg. Yeah.
so okay, now we've got this. You show up, everybody's high fiving, you're having a good time, you ride it. How fast did it take for you to fall off or break? Did you have some challenges with it?
You know what? No, like I said, I went through two pairs of Vans because that's what I was breaking with, right? But the interesting thing is that everybody in the campsite was like, "Where can I get one? I want one." Everybody. We went to a lake. Everybody was asking, "Hey, where did you buy that? Did you build it?" I mean, you could tell I built it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
They're like, "Can you make me one?" So I saw the demand for it.
I was camping one time, ironically, and saw a one-wheeler, that little surfboard on that big tire. And I had my Grom, and I've got a vintage cool trailer like and, they attract a lot of people. And I was noticing that a lot of folks were kind of coming our way. And it's like, oh, these guys want to see my trailer. But they blew right by me to go see this guy on that one wheel.
One wheel, yeah.
And it's funny how that grassroots interest is really cheap market research, because you get a different scope of folks. Campers are usually pretty well off. They've got the time to kill. They usually have a nice little trailer. They can kind of do what they want. And if they see a little something that gets their attention, that the money's really not the option.
Exactly.
The fact that it's electric is much more intriguing, I'm sure. I don't know, you would have gotten that same response if that had a little Predator engine. They would have seen 1,000 of them. So now you've got all this going on. Was that when collectively you guys decided that, hey, maybe we've got something here? What was that light bulb moment?
I told them about it. It was in as soon as that happened, my brain started going like, I wonder if there's a demand for it. I mean, there already is. We saw on the campsites. Yeah. So
and probably even before that, right?
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. Yeah. So slowly, so Val was my coworker, Jocelyn. We were coworkers. We used to work in the same spot. So I kind of started pitching them about the idea, but they didn't see the vision. They didn't see what I saw.
Yeah.
So what I did, I just went on it solo, started building my frame, and that itself was a learning curve. I've never built tubes before. I've never done anything like that. So I bought a cheap Amazon hand bender, tube bender. That thing sucked. So
you started
the first one, I called it the noodle because the frame was all tweaked out. Yeah, I didn't use it.
Did we have any of those photos that you gave me?
I didn't actually. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did. But it's I use that same gauge. So
Let's see some other photos. We'll get off this one. So now you've got your more modern setup, and you've done all the actual frame work yourself now, and you've got a bolt-on front fork.
That's correct. Yeah,
Okay.
From Go Power Sports.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Go Power Sports is providing us with your front forks. You've done a pretty good job with the bending. I mean, our next podcast guest, Jake Moe, drops dimes like you wouldn't believe. But when you look at the welding and you look at the construction of it, I like the fact that the frame size seems suitable for the power plant. Those are some pretty hefty batteries. Once again, what size batteries were those?
72 volt, 50 amp hour.
How much do those things weigh?
They weigh about 45 pounds.
Okay, so it's a little bit heavier than some of the engines that are typically in these mini bikes, right? So the brake system now, I see that you've actually adopted a brake system. Congratulations, Sam.
Thank you.
You're going with the disc brake kit. At first blush, now I'm looking at this model here, it seems like, I know that will work, but it almost seems like maybe as you progress, that maybe a bigger brake. What size wheels and tires do you have on that?
That's a 6 inch, I believe.
Okay, 6-inch wheel.
Yeah, 6 inch.
Okay, so who knows? You got a little knobby tire on that. The seats, where are you sourcing your seats?
My auntie makes them for me.
Great.
So she lives with me. I have a multifamily unit, so I rent her.
Nice. What's your auntie's name?
Elvira. Elvira. Yeah.
So she did all the workmanship on it. Isn't that something?
Seamstress. Yeah, she's like, hey,
Isn't that
I
cool?
need another seat. Yeah.
Very nice. And I like the bracket that you have that it mounts on.
Yeah.
What other products? Why don't you just walk us through a little bit? I kind of went over some of the basics. I see you've got some lights up there, obviously, with it being an electric bike.
So starting a business, everybody knows it gets pricey, sourcing everything, sourcing all the parts. But Amazon, let me tell you, Amazon does wonders. You get the stuff 2-3 days when you order it. So everything here, most of the stuff's from Amazon. The
I always
lights are
wonder how
from
they can get
Amazon.
something from Thailand to California in 2 days.
Yeah, that's
Yet
wild.
I can't send a package to Indiana without it getting like laws for. I got a hat that Dane Walton won for being the first person to subscribe to or enter the mini bike show. The fucking hat's still in Lancaster. It's been like 6 months. So you're able to get all your parts from Amazon. They're showing up on time.
Yeah.
And you're sourcing everything, right? Your wiring, the brakes, what?
Yeah, so the wiring, we do it in-house.
Okay.
Yeah, wiring is in-house, but as far as the parts go, most of it is from Amazon. Other than the aluminum, the frame itself, Go Power Sports, they're on Amazon too, but I go directly to their website.
Yeah, a little shout out to our friends over at Go Power Sports. Talked to those guys recently. They've been involved with the event. Nice guys to deal with. Check them out at gopowersports.com. So you've got literally an ignition key. You've got a kill button there, and you also have like a gauge there. Is the gauge pretty obviously for the power that's remaining in the battery? Does it
correct.
give you the time as well, or
No,
is it just
we're not there yet. We're we're gonna get there, but yeah, it's just the voltage and percentage or battery.
okay?
level.
So here's what we're looking at, folks, for a closer view.
Yeah.
You've got a raw frame there. I've always loved raw frames. In fact, most of if I had my way, they'd all be raw. At some point, you probably got to get to a place where you're powder coating these things and giving them what they want, which probably is a red model and a yellow model, or maybe you like the white model, but whatever it turns out to be. Is that something that's upcoming?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're trying to dial in the frame first. We're still, I was talking to, I forgot your name, sorry, but yeah, so that we're still kind of like in the research and development phase.
Sure.
So, but people are still buying them. They like them, and we tell them it's not the finished model, but if you want to enjoy them, here you go.
There's a certain rawness as well as a certain charm in the fact that it's obvious that you guys are on your way. You've got the basic format set up. I found with electronics that typically things happen quickly. Batteries this size become this size.
Right.
The related power, before you know it, you probably have an opportunity to put a couple batteries on there and go 75 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour years from now. I would think that advancing with the brakes, you got a little bit of an opportunity with some tube suspension in the front there, but maybe some rear suspension. Let's talk a little bit now about how much fun you've been having with those. I've seen some photos of you not only out and about, you've been riding some urban streets and running with some of the street guys, but also you've been having some fun in the snow. I think there's some photos of maybe the bike in the snow. Tell us a little bit about that. That was a pretty cool shot. Where was this taken?
Yeah, this was in White Sands of New Mexico. So I did I do accessories for the bike itself. So the tracks fully custom made. They're for quads.
Oh, okay.
So I had to cut them up
and the
and
quad.
make them fit the frame.
How did it run in the sand?
Good. Yeah, did it really good. I wouldn't recommend it. The sand gets everywhere.
I was going to say, plus the tires are small too.
Yeah.
Did it actually go pretty good?
It goes. Yeah, it goes. It's just, you'll damage your components. So I wouldn't recommend it. They do better in the snow.
Is your vision in the future to have a bike that is that utilitarian
Yes.
where, because, it did stem from something that you originally wanted to have if you went camping, and camping could put you in all different kind of situations, right?
Our models for wherever you go. So anywhere you want to go, you could. We were trying to make these accessories so you could actually just put them on the frame, take off the back tire, put on the track system, and you could go.
So what are some of the other ideas that you have outside of the tracking system? Are there any in the future plans that you guys as a group have already earmarked and look to maybe grow with future models?
Yeah, so sidecar trailer. Yeah, we're developing a sidecar for it.
love
Yeah,
it. Sure.
for somebody with a little kid or a puppy, some people
Yes.
with dogs. Yeah, they want to go cruise.
Well, it'd also be just a great charger for your cell phone, just to have that.
Exactly. Yeah, put an extra pack on there, and yeah, definitely. Yeah, and then what else? Trailer, a little wagon. So that's already in the works on the whiteboard. So the wagon, rack for your stuff, a front rack.
Oh, how cool. I can see
Yeah.
one of these things with, I don't know, a skateboard or
Yeah.
depending on the size of a surfboard. But
We did a surfboard. We already have surfboard racks.
See, you're way
on
ahead
there.
of me.
Yep.
when you look at it, do you wish and do you look towards a time where you'll have access to a smaller battery? Is that kind
Yeah.
of what you see going forward?
I was just talking to Val. I can't wait for nuclear power to be a thing. They can just put a little, make it look like Iron Man or something. Like a little thing that you just put it on there and go.
Hey, folks, we're here with Sam Flores. I told him earlier on that I'm sure at some point I was going to call him Sam Harris. I don't know where I got that. But Sam, as you can see, is not only passionate. He reminds me of me when I started all this mini bike shit. I would talk to anybody about it. I always had a smile on my face. I was always looking to improve it and just talk to everybody about it. Before we get back to Sam, folks, I want to make a little bit of an announcement that I'm pretty happy and excited about. It's we finally, through all of our efforts, whether it's the podcast or it's the mini bike show or it's all this social media shit, as well as the fact that I've been hanging out in this scene in the automotive world for probably, 30 decades. I've been a part of SEMA in a variety of ways. And our phone rang recently where we were invited to bring our culture to the SEMA Ignited. SEMA Ignited is the official after party for the SEMA show. It's November the 4th. It's in Las Vegas. And it's a gathering of consumers. There's about 30,000 of these folks that can't get inside the SEMA show, but they come to town just to experience, to get a little bit of a whiff of it. At SEMA Ignited, we bring over the cars that are inside the halls that you can't get in. We bring over the celebrities. We have a cruise. We have an opportunity to showcase our culture, our products, our bikes, our personalities in front of the largest automotive backdrop ever. It's the SEMA show. Check it out. You can't get in there. If you want to be a part of it and you'd like to maybe have a display there and you think that you've got a really cool bike, or maybe you're pretty good at stunting or doing burnouts, I want to hear from you guys. I want to find out and talk to the best stunters, the best wheelie kings, the best burnout guys, because I'm going to give you a forum where you're going to be able to showcase yourself and your skills. It's not for everybody. I've got very limited space. However, if you would like to pay to participate, you can buy a booth. Our friends from Dingo USA would probably be a great example to come. Buy a 10x10 booth for $500, showcase your products, collect some names, give out some decals, have some bikes ready to go, because these are consumers in Las Vegas. They could have won or lost millions of dollars the night before. It's very passionate. It's very spontaneous. I've invited our friends from GTS to be a part of it. I want to thank Steady Garage. They were the first ones to jump on board and buy a booth through me for SEMA Ignited. I'm encouraging anybody who's in business, not guys who just own a mini bike, guys who want to promote a business, check me out. I'll have more information about this, as well as a link where you can sign up and pay and be a part of it. You'll move in Thursday night. You have to be set up before Friday the 4th. The show goes from 2 o'clock till 10 o'clock. There's bands, there's musics, there's celebrity, there's a lot of cool stuff. I posted a couple videos on my social media outlets. Click on them. I posted one today, I believe, of the SEMA cruise. Dude, it's awesome. They have all kinds of crazy automotive stuff there. There's food, and it's a chance for all of us to get together, right? You'll be a part of mini bike history by being a part of SEMA Ignited this year with Joe's Minibike Reunion. I hope to have on display with Steady Garage. Again, I'm looking for the best. I'm asking Jake Moto to come out, bring out some custom bikes that he's building. Steady Garage will be bringing out some bikes. On Friday night, I ride out with my guys from Honda Grom Lifestyle. Love those dudes. Some of the baddest bikes, particularly mini motos from that class, show up. I'll be bringing over just a handful. In fact, Bing Flores will be selecting 4 bikes that'll come over. And then finally, select winning bikes at the upcoming Joe's Minibike Reunion are going to be invited to participate in Las Vegas. October the 8th, CV Park La Crescenta Joe's Minibike Reunion. Sign up now on the website, joesminibikereunion.com. Okay, so we're here with Sam Flores with Dingo Moto USA. I told him earlier that we could probably go on forever. These bikes, because of the nature, these are in their launch mode. They offer bikes in parcels. You just can't order 12 of them. You can't walk in the shop and roll one off. They sell them in blocks. Recently, they kicked off, I believe, your second wave of sales. So increments of maybe 10, give or take, come available, kind of first come, first serve. How does it work?
Exactly. Yeah, the first come, first serve. Once we get 10 people that order, we block off the wave. We build those, get them to the customers, and then we open up another set of orders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they order? You want to go to a website? How does it work?
They could go on our website at dingomotousa.com. Okay. No, it's dingomoto.com.
Okay. Spell it out for them.
DINGO.
Finish it up.
.com.
You can't miss them. Instagram, what's your handle on Instagram?
Dingo Moto USA.
Dude, when people ask me about you hear me stumble when I tell you to go to YouTube. I don't know if it's Joe's Minibike Reunion, JMBR official, JMBR podcast. I don't know. Find it. You can find anything on the friggin' internet. If you're that interested and you're watching, you can find them. I've had a chance to check out. I love all the photos. What have I missed? What haven't we covered? Do you want to give a couple of shout outs, obviously, to your staff again, as well as to some of the other folks that helped you out?
Yeah, definitely to the team. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the team. They put in hours. They go above and beyond just to make it happen. It was just my vision, and they're making it happen. And then also to the first 10 that ordered the bikes, I'm actually putting a series on these bikes. So it's not just going to be mass-produced. They're not mass-produced. They're handmade here in the USA by our team, and they have a series. So if you get one, it's going to have a number. This one has a number, and we're still going to put that one on. That was my sister. She was the first person that supported the cause.
What's her name?
Jackie Flores. Yeah, so I want to give
Jackie,
a shout
out to Jackie.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then and I'm also even just thinking ahead. I'm gonna attach. There's gonna be. I didn't want to confuse you guys, but I'm attaching NFTs to the bikes themselves as well.
So,
that are gonna serve as pink slips to each bike.
Very smart.
Number. Yeah. So we're also working on that now.
Very good angle. Very good angle.
So you get an NFT each time you buy a bike, and then you could buy an NFT. Hold it, not build the bike, not get the bike built, but also sell that NFT for a bigger price so you could get a profit in the future. So if you hold on to it. So that's going to be the whole purpose of the NFT. And also, like I said, it's going to be a pink slip to your actual Dingo Moto that you buy.
I like those. Those are nice little perks that I don't think customers expect that, but when they get that, especially if it's presented in a nice little envelope,
Definitely.
That makes the experience just a little bit cooler. I think I would be remiss to not ask one more question because I think it's probably a wide scope. Who's your customer so far? Who's been buying these things?
It's a broad, like it's really. I mean, we're talking about it. I'm like people that live in urban areas. So far, it's been more females than males. So,
Okay,
so
isn't that something? Would you have ever thought that you would have
right.
folks live? And you're talking like rural county females.
Yeah. So in LA mainly. Yeah.
Sure.
So this one right here is for David. He's in San Diego. So far it's been half and half.
Okay.
3 males and 3 females.
And how have they heard of you?
Instagram. Yeah.
So Instagram's been your major source?
And also I go with LA Eastgate. We go on rides here in LA downtown. Okay. It's an EV community.
So that word of mouth?
Word of mouth. They see it. They think it's cool. And they just want to, they tell their friends. They're artists.
Sure.
Yeah. So they live in LA and they want a better way to commute. And they
love the whole gas-saving electric story behind it too.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, look, Sam, as I said before, these podcasts typically run kind of short. I hope you enjoyed the time as much as I did. I see the future is going to be bright for you guys over there at Dingo Moto USA. You also probably got some good leads from that Electrify Expo as well. So, definitely. Getting received not only from the core group, but as well as the masses that attend those shows probably got to be a good validation of what you guys have done to date. Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the podcast tonight. I want to give our sponsors a big thank you again, our friends from Pioneer Car Electronics, where we remind you don't break up with your car, upgrade it, as well as a nice warm welcome to our friends at Yashimura Exhaust, Go-Kart USA, Studs Racing. Shit, we have sponsors like we're real folks now. And it's all because of you. So check us out on the next Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. This one will probably be airing sometime in mid-August. We've been spending the last few minutes with our friend Sam Flores from Dingo Moto USA. Check them out on Instagram. It's the way to go. And if you were to buy one of these, what it's going to cost?
They're $2,800.
A small price to pay, folks. Under $3,000 to be the king of your neighborhood. Put me down for one. We'll see you guys in the next Joe's Minibike Reunion podcast. Thanks for watching, everybody.